Hey, what's going on, guys? It's Larry with Packmaster Dog Training. I posted an article today it was titled Hands Off, No Conflict Aggression Training. Okay. I didn't just write it, I wrote it a while ago and I posted it a while back, and people had a lot of questions about it. And so I said, I'll make a little video and we'll talk about it. So once again, like I did the last time, this is not a how-to video. That's not what I'm doing. I'm going to take one specific case here, a human and dog aggressive dog. So he was aggressive towards both humans and dogs. And I'm going to break it down what I did with this one dog. So again, it's not a how-to, it's not a do this method and this will work. I'm giving you a specific example of what I did with this dog because several of you have asked questions about it, all right? When I went to work with this dog, he was a mixed breed dog, medium-sized dog that belonged to a young couple out in West Nashville. What they told me was the dog was extremely human aggressive and dog aggressive. He was both, all right? Now, like I've said before, normally when people tell you that, it's very rarely the case. The dog usually isn't nowhere near as bad as it was. But in this case, I showed up to a busy apartment complex, and the couple came out with the dog to meet me, and the dog he was out of control. You know, I couldn't speak to the owners because he wanted to get to me. He was loud, barking, growling, and it wasn't just reactivity. The dog was definitely wanting to get to me. So I had them put the dog away and we talked. They wanted to fix both issues. They wanted the dog e-collar trained. They wanted all the normal stuff. But of course, the most important part was we had to fix the aggression, both the dog and human aggression. They lived in an apartment complex. There were dogs and people everywhere, all right? This is the first dog I worked with after the pit bull mix named Keezy that I have a video out there that most of you guys have probably seen. He was a pretty serious dog. And to be honest with you, at this point, I was burnt out. I was completely exhausted from dealing with aggression cases because that's all I was doing, one after the other, and it would be serious cases, not just, you know, my dog's aggressive and you get there and the dog's reactive on a leash. No, I was taking dogs in from all over the country, and they were serious dogs, and I was burnt out. I was tired. I really was. I didn't want to do it anymore. So when I started working with this dog, I decided I was going to do something completely different just because I had to, for my own sake. I had to do something different. So I worked with the owners. We talked. I broke down exactly what we were going to do. Day one, we were going to condition the dog to the e-collar like I do with every dog, okay? Once again, I've said it 150,000 times before. I don't address the aggression with the e-collar. I don't correct the aggression with the e-collar, okay? Not even close. I separate the behavioral training from the obedience training, from the e-collar conditioning training. I separate it all, but kind of do it all together. I'll get to the point. So like what I do with all clients, I put the e-collar, I put the receiver in one of the owner's hands, and I'm going to teach them the mechanics of the e-collar. I walk them through just like I do every client, all right? Then they give me the receiver, and I become the dog. And I do different things to see if they're understanding the concept of the timing and the mechanics of the e-collar. See, this way, they make all the mistakes on me. So by the time we put the e-collar on the dog, they're doing pretty well. I don't want them making mistakes on the dog if we could avoid that at all costs, all right? So that's what I did, just like I do with every client. I've also done videos on how I do that. You've seen them, all right? So now it's time to bring the dog out. They bring the dog out, the owner puts the e-collar on the dog, and there were tennis courts there. So what I did was I had him go in the tennis court, and we started conditioning the dog. I stayed at a distance to where the dog was not stressed, so he was able to focus on the handler. The first thing we did was focus on, you know, some luring, some marking, teaching the dog the marker word. I'm going to fly through this kind of quick or else it'll go on forever, all right? And we did that. And what I did was I controlled the remote control from the e-collar, okay? So from a distance, I'd have the owner give the command. The dog's name was Nash. Nash, come, and then I would tap the e-collar. The second the dog would turn to him, he'd say yes and reward. You get where I'm going with this? We do the conditioning the same way. We did that for a few minutes, then we took a break. And then we switch it up to where now I'm holding the e-collar, I'm holding the continuous button down first. Nash come, the dog turns. The second he comes, we release the pressure from the e-collar, yes, reward, okay? Day one, that's what we're doing, that's all we're doing. Let's fly through day one here. That's what we did, it went very, very well. Very well. The dog never had any blow-ups because I stayed at a safe distance. I did not put the pressure on the dog at this point, okay? This is the first time I'm doing this, remember that. I give the owners instructions. This is what you're going to do for the following week. They're going to just keep doing the e-collar conditioning over and over, the recall, over and over, teaching the dog the meaning of the e-collar. That's it. No corrections, no nothing. We're not addressing the aggression at this point, okay? All right, move on to week 2. I come out there for week 2. We do the same exact thing, except we're not in the tennis court. We're out in a parking lot. I'm a little bit closer to the dog, and we start introducing the place command also. So now we're doing the recall, we're doing the place command. And the dog's doing very well. So by the end of that lesson, and by the way, the second lesson is usually the most boring and least eventful lesson. It's basically a repeat of the first lesson, just adding a little bit more to it. So this time we're not in the tennis court, we're in the parking lot. I'm a little bit closer, and we're adding the place command, and then we also started implementing the e-collar with the sit command. Okay, so we're doing both. The dog did very well. The dog never paid attention to me that whole time, all right? So now lesson 3. I show up with Bruno, my Rottweiler. He's the dog that used to help me with all my aggression cases. When I have a dog that's human aggressive, I don't like using my dogs from the start because I want to address that. I want to build that trust and help that dog along the way without the use of my dog. I want to bring him in later on, just like I did with Keezy. So the third lesson, I show up, it's dark, and it is pouring raining. Okay, I mean pouring. There was no way we could train outside. So what we did, and this was kind of worst case scenario for dog training, we used the hallway, the alleyway in the stairwell of the apartment complex, all right? I had the owner and the dog go to the back of the alleyway, the stairway of the apartment complex. And what I did was I used 2 different methods here. BAT, behavioral adjustment training, and CAT, constructional aggression treatment. Okay, many people have heard of BAT, not many have heard of CAT. A lot of people dismiss both of these methods, and I'm not big on methods. You guys know that, I don't. But when used with an overall training program, CAT, constructional aggression treatment, has worked wonders. I mean, I have done incredible things by using that when part of an overall program. By itself, not going to cut it, okay? It has to be part of an overall program. So what I did was, remember, it's pouring raining, it's dark, and it's kind of dark in the stairwell. That wasn't the best way to train with this dog. But this young couple was leaving. They were moving to Boston. We had to get this done. All right? So mind you, I still haven't touched this dog. We've done 2 lessons. This is the 3rd lesson. I've never touched the dog. I think I started with BAT first, I think. So basically, it's very simple. What I did was I instructed the owner that as soon as I appeared with my Rottweiler, as soon as the dog laid eyes on me and Bruno, I wanted him to start dropping food. I wanted food to fall from the sky, and that's what he did. We approached, food started falling, the dog started eating, all right? The second we went away, the food stopped, no more food. We gave it a few seconds, we come back. The second the dog sees me and Bruno, I instruct the owner, food starts falling, okay? You get the picture here. I go away. 30 seconds, I'm out of view of the dog. We come back. The second he sees us, food starts falling. All right? So now within probably 5 minutes, 6, 7 minutes maybe, the second we appear, the dog starts looking at the owner, waiting for the food to fall. Okay? That's what I needed to happen. Okay, so I said, perfect. Now we stop that. Now I go out of sight. This is where I start the CAT training, constructional aggression treatment. What I did here was, and what I do when I do this quite a bit, is I instruct the owner he is to do nothing. Nothing at all. He is to stand there, no commands, no corrections, no movement, no nothing. Just be with the dog. I come from a distance. The second the dog notices us, I wait till there's a little bit of stress. Not a lot. I don't want the dog to explode. I want there to be a little bit of stress. And once there's enough stress, I don't want to push that dog over the threshold. We stop. And I just stand there with the dog. And the dog's watching us. And I wait for some kind of calming signal. I wait for the dog to look away or to look at the ground, look up at the owner. The second he does that, I remove the stressor. My dog and myself, we go away out of the picture. The dog gives a calming signal, we go away. All right? We did that for 15, 20 minutes. Within that 15 or 20 minutes, we were able to get right next to that dog in a dark alleyway in a stairwell of an apartment complex. Not ideal circumstances, but it went fantastic. And this has gone fantastic for me over and over and over. Very, very, very useful, guys. Very useful. Okay? That was our third lesson. At that time, that's all I was providing. 3 private lessons, and then you come to group class. I only do group classes for clients, people that have been through the program, all right? These folks were getting ready to move. The following weekend, they're going to come to the group class. There's a couple of videos on my YouTube channel that make no sense if you look at them. It's the owner's wife. It's the female of the house. There's 2 videos. One is in the group class she's filming, and the second one is in the apartment with the movers in the house with the dog laying there by the movers. And she's telling these guys, you don't understand, you wouldn't be able to do this. A couple of weeks ago, you know, this dog would want to kill you. And she's talking about me. They're not good videos, but that's why they're on there. So let's move on to group class. We go to group class. I'm talking. I talk a lot, as you could tell. I'm talking to the people attending my group class, the dogs we're training. This dog, Nash, mind you, I still have never laid hands on. We did 3 lessons. I never touched this dog, okay? What you see in the video of that group class, and it's not good footage, but the owner grabbed her phone and started filming, and she started crying. Because in the middle of that group class, that dog pulled his weight to get to me. I was down, I was squatted in the position, I was on my knees or something during the class, and you see that dog come up to me, and he's loving on me, and he's kissing me, and he's just as happy as could be. And I'm giving him some affection back. And that's why the owner filmed it. And I think you could hear her, she's crying in the video. She was blown away. The people in my group class had no idea I had never touched that dog. They did not know that dog's background, okay? So I gave the 3 private lessons. I did everything completely hands off. I did the training like we normally would do. I just had to change up a few things. And it worked wonders. I mean, it was absolutely mind-boggling, guys. I couldn't believe how well this worked. So when I dealt with a dog with human aggression the next time, when I say human aggression, I don't mean a reactive dog. I mean a dog that is going to attack me, period. When I got that type of dog again, I did the same exact thing. I said, let's see if this is a fluke. I did it again. And guess what? By lesson 3, I was handling this dog. And this dog was real serious too. And so I went on and I wrote about that. And I explained what I did. I called it, I think, you know, hands-off, no conflict aggression training. And let's face it, guys, we don't invent anything in dog training. Everything's been done. I haven't created anything. This is the one time I thought maybe I did create something and I have to share this with everyone. I wasn't going to keep it to myself, so I wrote about it. And I wrote about it. I wanted people to know. I wanted people to give it a try. And then I remember Martin Dealey commented on it. He said something to the effect of like, hey, great job, Larry. I've been doing that a long time too. I was like, son of a bitch. So I still haven't created nothing. You know, it's been done before. But guess what? When someone like Martin Dealey says that, yeah, I've been doing that too, that really, it made me feel fantastic because Martin is a phenomenal trainer and I have all the respect in the world for Martin. And so I know if he was doing it, I was on to something, you know. I discovered it myself, but it's been done before. You guys got to implement things like this, all right? You have to implement things like this. You know, I'm not opposed to corrections. I'm not opposed to many different things. And I'm not big on methods. But trust me, this works. When you put it all together, the results are mind-boggling. Quick example of CAT, constructional aggression training. I used it with a garbage can once. I'll make this fast. I had a golden retriever. Really cool dog, well-behaved dog, but was deathly scared of garbage cans. I mean deathly scared. So the owners like to jog with the dog, they like to go for runs, and they couldn't if it was garbage day, because if the dog saw a garbage can, he'd freak out. So I use this method, cat with a garbage can. They were at the end of the driveway. I approached with their big blue and orange garbage can from a distance. The second the dog got stressed, I stopped. The second the dog looked away, I removed the garbage can. Same thing. The next time I got a little closer, okay? The next time I got a little closer. Within 30 minutes, we were next to that dog. He was never scared of a garbage can again. It's very effective, guys, but you can't do one thing. If you want to fix problems, you have to do multiple things. That's where the results come from, okay? It's where the results come from. But of course, if these owners, if this young couple didn't change the things they were doing in the home, this doesn't work. So once again, my hat's off to the owners. They did everything it took. And when they were moving, I'll try to post those videos in the description on the YouTube video, okay? When they were moving, you see that dog's in that room with those owners. A couple of strange men in the house packing, and she's telling them, you don't understand, you never be able to do this. It's tremendously effective, guys. One of you folks asked me in the post today, well, I have a dog that's, you know, real reactive towards dogs on leash. That's an overall training package, guys. Again, you do this, it's going to help, but it's a lot more than that. What are you doing with the dog when you're not training? What are you doing with the dog in your home? You remember, you know, how you live with your dog dictates how your dog lives with you. I say it over and over. So this is kind of long and drawn out, and it's just a little bit of an example. And I'm sure I've forgotten many things in here because I tried to keep it as short as possible, but this stuff can carry on. I wrote about it. I said I'd give a little bit more details in the video, so that's what I'm trying to do. I added the details more about what I did with Bruno, with the bat and the cat, because that's what people are really interested in. Most people, a lot of people didn't even know what that was. Many people know about bat, and I hate all these acronyms, you know, and I do, and I'm not big on methods, but when you combine this stuff together, guys, unbelievably powerful. Give it a shot. If you have questions, hit me up. You know I always answer them, all right? Thanks.